situation. While we condemn this despicable behavior, we are also requesting our civil society networks to equally vouch for the rights of the police. In instances where the police have overstepped themselves, we have seen condemnation from all sorts of organizations, human rights, and so on. And I thought that for once, I was going to see the human rights organizations condemn those who are misbehaving with the police. And also sensitizing our people on the importance of obeying the law. I would like to take this opportunity to commend the police for ensuring that the nationwide curfew is obeyed. The curfew has had several advantages, including less movement, therefore less contact, therefore less infections. And I have no doubt in my mind that the work that the police is doing is assisting us in mitigating the kind of situation we could possibly be in. Therefore, I plead with all Kenyans to continue observing the curfew and lend the police their cooperation. We are not trying to protect the police. You are trying to protect yourself. So let's cooperate with security forces so that at the end of the day, we all benefit out of it. And it is concerning, to me it's very concerning, when you see the kind of behavior that we saw in Malindi. And I think it is only fair to expect that in every situation, the police are supposed to assist you, but let us not also forget that the police must also address each situation with the sensitivity that is deserved. Yesterday, we also pointed out that because of the new measures that we have taken and arising out of a new social structure, there are increases in domestic violence in homes. And I want to make a special appeal to our religious leaders to also weigh in and intervene in this matter to counsel our people against these emerging trends, and to say that the stress level in our country is going to increase. You are going to be challenged in living in a way that perhaps you have not done for a number of years. Is a new normal that we are not used to in a lot of our homes. But I think that the way to look at it is a challenge to overcome. Let us not ventilate. Let us not use our spouses, our daughters, our sons. Let us not use them as a way of ventilating our stress. In the last 24 hours, we have upped our testing capacity, as I mentioned, and tested for the first time over 800 samples, and hopefully we can begin to double even that number. But during that period, out of the 803 samples, 9 people have tested positive, bringing to 225 the number of confirmed cases in the country. And I would like also to mention that all the 9 cases are Kenyan nationals. And also, none of them has a history of travel, and none of them was in a quarantine center. These are people that we have tracked through contact tracing, and also testing people who come to us because they are feeling unwell. And out of those 9 cases, 5 of them are from Nairobi, and 4 of them from Mombasa. They are aged between 9 and 69 years old. We have 12 new discharges, bringing to 53 the total number of people who have recovered from the disease. Unfortunately, we have also lost 1 person, bringing to 10 the total number of people who have died as a result of the disease. A total number of 2,336 contacts have been monitored, out of which 1,911 have been discharged. 455 contacts are being followed at the moment. I want to take this opportunity to condole with the family of the person who lost his life, and also to take this opportunity to wish a quick recovery to those who are affected in isolation areas. I want to emphasize the need for using masks, and to say that there are some sectors of the economy, sectors of the activities we do, that have not taken seriously what we are saying. And I want to once again appeal to our border operators to adhere to the measures that we have said. It is in their enlightened self-interest to do so. Let us all stand up for our country. I thank you.